how great the CU win over Arizona was, especially as like a storytelling device. So CU was able to knock off Arizona, the number 2 team in the country, um, and that was last 2 weekends ago in Boulder. And they won pretty handedly. Like they won 82-72. They controlled the pace for most of the second half. Like they were down going into halftime. They got great performances from a lot of people, but it was senior day. And it was senior day for Evan Battey, who is the combination of two things that college basketball fans love. He's a fan favorite because he's just like a great guy, but usually that role is reserved for a bench guy. And like at CU, it's obvious. It's usually like a sort of a sarcastic cheer for the white guys on the bench. Like that's usually who like the fan favorites were. Like Ben Mills, who's a white guy that had absolutely no mass, really fit into that category. And then you have like your really good players. And Evan Battey isn't one of the best players to ever go through CU, but he was a buff for 4 years. Like he was more of a Josh Scott mold, where we got to see him grow up. He was a big man, but he had the added like prestige of having to overcome a lot of adversity. His freshman year, he was suspended by the NCAA because he had bad grades as a freshman or a sophomore in high school. And Tad Boyle didn't understand why that was happening, the CU coach. And then he had a stroke while he was redshirting that year. And it looked like maybe he would never play basketball again. Just a horrible situation that really turned into just like a guy to root for. And like Evan Battey has the best sportsmanship of anyone we've ever seen, like as a Buffalo. Like on the telecast, I always call him the mayor of Boulder, which isn't true because Spencer Dinwiddie is the mayor of Boulder, but he's sort of like the Mr. Buffalo. Like if you were going to say anyone just like embodies what it means to be the good part of a Colorado Buffalo, like he just has that energy. And so on senior night, where they announce the players before the game, they, are going to win this game. Obviously, the students are going to rush the court. And Evan Battey like goes over to the student section. He's waving the fans onto the court, waving the students. There's like a 10-minute party that ensues. It's the most people I've ever seen on the court, and we've had quite a CU always rushes the court. Like if anyone's ranked or if they feel slighted by anyone, CU fans love to rush the court. And so it was like just a mosh pit, and then he gets to get up on the scorer's table and like deliver the senior speech. It was just amazing. Just wanted to document it and say that someday that needs to be a movie. It's a much better movie than Rudy because like he actually played in the games and was really like the guy that they pretend like Rudy is in that movie. He was that and more
Right, yeah.
for the Colorado Buffaloes, and he said that hopefully someday he'll come back as the head coach of CU.
Wow, that's mm, great, heartwarming story. And I know in a season that might not have been the best for the Buffaloes because they're not going to make the tournament probably. Um, to have, especially like CU as it's growing in its basketball program in the Pac-12, to have those figureheads is like why college basketball is such an amazing culture, really. Like, those things that transcend sport. Do you think Batty's going to get a fair shake in the NBA?
He's probably not an NBA player. I'm hoping like maybe the Nuggets will uh, throw him a bone and let him come to summer league or something. He's probably a European player, and I think he should definitely do that for
Mm,
a while. He is, he's overshadowed because they do have a player that thinks that he might be able to go in the draft, Jabari Walker, who has been very good and has improved a lot as a sophomore. And so
yeah.
sort of just waiting to see where he's going to land in the draft. And it would be, if Walker comes back next year, they're going to be a really good team because their young players the last couple of months have really stepped up. KJ Simpson, who's a really small guard, has played well. Barthélemy, who's in his second year, has had a couple of good games. They have a few other players that have just like been really impressive the uh, last couple of weeks, especially. Unfortunately, they couldn't beat Arizona again in the Pac-12 tournament, so as you said, they're probably not going to make it. But I had a friend text me and say, would it be more surprising if CU made the tournament this year? than it was the year in 2011 where everyone thought they were going to be in the tournament. And the one thing I'll say is
Mm,
there's always a chance that the committee looks at the Pac-12 as a better league than the national people do. And that would be the only thing that would let CU in because they're the fourth best team in the Pac-12, and the Pac-12's definitely going to get three. So it would be a little less surprising, I think, than 2011. But I don't. I just see there's no way it's going to happen. But they'll make the NIT, and maybe you'll be watching them in Madison Square Gardens in 3 weeks.
dude, I did see someone wearing a Buffs hat the other day just for no reason, and it always warms my Colorado heart to see, especially like non-Broncos logos
Yeah.
out here.
Yeah, that is great, and yeah, I think there are buffs everywhere, and following college basketball, especially with like a school like CU that doesn't have the history, is interesting because you just like get to know these people so well. But it's like you feel like you're kind of in your own little world sometimes. It's not like
Yeah, I remember one time you said that, like, as a sports fan, you follow a lot of teams, but the Buffs are the only teams that you refer to as we.
yes, being a CU Buffalo, and then yeah, just like college basketball, because you like actually see these people grow up. College football is sort of like that, but they're only 12 games, so it's not. You don't get
Mm.
to know the people as well. Like, there are players over the years that I've really gotten to know as players really well over their time at CU and get to see them grow up.